All right, guys. So we are back once again. We're going to be talking about the film industry and the lack there of originality and what's happening. But we'll get into this positive show. I'm pretty sure right off the bat after I finish this great intro. So of course, I'm your host Armin. I'm here with Mitch
You can follow me at Mitch692.
and here with Tristan.
I'm tired, and you can follow me at Control Breakers.
You say
And
you need to vomit.
we should
That's what I.
no.
That's
What we
what I
need to
heard.
do is go get Tristan hooked up to like a Mountain Dew, like just like
IV.
yeah, just like have it slowly drip into him, and he'll be fine.
Uh, I have the power.
I
So
mean, they did
yeah.
have those Mountain Dew, was it slushy machines?
Oh,
I
Oh
remember those
yeah.
in high school.
Oh yeah.
see, what you really need is a Szechuan sauce.
Mm.
That's what everyone.
No, what he needs is just like like loot crates. You need more of them like crates in video games to unpack that are loaded with a bunch of useless crap. So it's kind of like like real life DLC, which I just realized they actually have those on Soda. Never mind. Oh my god, I forgot
I
about
was gonna
that.
say, so you're trying to sell him Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Damn. I still haven't played that beta. I'm just gonna wait till the final game comes out. I don't.
I wouldn't even touch the final game. It's just a mobile game.
Oh.
It's 100% free to play. If you want to get anywhere, you pay.
Uh, damn it. Damn it, game industry. Well, you suck. This like weekend, Blade Runner came out, and it's a sequel to, or Blade Runner 2049 came out. It's a sequel to a cult film that not many people saw. That's it since its release. Like gotten quite a big following, and rightfully so. It's one of like the most important science fiction films of all time. But the new one more or less bombed at the box office, making barely under like what was like 35 million. Like the number's still like I don't know. They're kind of iffy on some websites, but they're saying it's definitely low because they were expecting like 55 million, which
Yeah.
definitely wasn't going to happen. I saw the movie. The only takeaway I have from it is you could shave off a good 40 minutes of this movie, and the movie would still be whole. Like there's a lot of that whole hey
It's just
look,
padding.
right, like Ryan Gosling is walking and then he stops and stares while we give
Oh,
you
God.
scenic scenes and like music that just like like deafs you out. And, like it looks beautiful, sure, but it's not important to the plot. So, but it's a really good movie. It's one of my favorites this year. It's up there in my like top 3 or 4 this year. I have no doubt I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch it again a couple times. It's a great sequel, and it doesn't destroy any charm or what the first one asks of the viewer. And it's if you're to come out with a sequel to a movie that a lot of people love, you can only tread so carefully to not destroy anything that the previous one did,
Yeah.
and it does it perfectly. Like I never thought I would see a movie that like handles it so carefully, and they don't unravel anything from the last one. They ask even more questions and give you a little bit more hints here and there. Like it's a really solid movie. I think everything in it is beautiful, well shot. Everything's just. I don't think it's a movie for the mainstream audience. It's slow as hell. There isn't even any action. Like the trailer might show you some
Yeah.
explosions and stuff. Like combined, there's maybe 10 seconds of action. So
Christ.
yeah, it's
Would you
slow.
say though, this is a movie you can watch without having seen the original?
Yes.
That's okay then, because I've never managed to get through the original.
Okay, so why is that?
Um, I'm not entirely sure why. I've never done it. It's either I can't be bothered to finish it, or I just kind of drift off.
Hmm.
And just like it's not bad from what I remember. It's been years since I tried watching it, but I just can't get
So
through it.
like my experience was with Blade Runner was my dad would watch it and stuff, and everybody I knew that liked sci-fi would watch it. I never watched it, and then I
Yeah.
did film school, and it was mandatory watching. So I finally was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna see like why every time I see my dad watching it, it's literally like the most boring thing happening, like just a dude sitting or
Yeah.
staring into something. So once I finally watched it studying film, I was like, I get exactly what they're saying. Like, and like also went to film school at the 2005, 6. So it was like the rise of mass CG and everything, like with episode
Yeah.
3 and after episode 2. So I grew an appreciation for it, but I think you definitely don't need to see it because they kind of spoon feed you almost what happens in the first movie without directly beating you over the head with it, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. That's all I want to say. I don't want to spoil too much and which direction they take it in. They definitely take it in a really good direction, though. Like, it's a movie that it's never going to get a sequel, and I hope to God it doesn't, because it doesn't need it. But if they were to make like a TV series or another movie set in the Blade Runner universe, and if they wanted that to have more action or something, I think that would work amazingly well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think Blade Runner as a concept would work better with TV.
Yep.
It's a bit like Dread in that sense.
Yep.
It's like it makes a good movie. I'd want to see it like a serialized version of it.
Right, like my idea was, my takeaway from Blade Runner 2049 was, man, do I want a TV series that's made out of this, and do I want to set in the year 2000, but of their timeline, which could possibly, have that weird, like, cyberpunky look, but not fully pushing it. Like, I think that would be real, like, about the rise of the first replicants. But
I was gonna say, wouldn't that be like a prequel, like 20 years before?
Right, which would, I think,
like
work perfectly well, and like you could pull it off on a TV budget. But overall, for people listening to this, because I know people were asking if we're going to talk about it, I say go see it, but understand that it's 2 hours and 50 minutes, and you are not getting a movie that is loaded with action. Like, you're going to have to sit, like, there are stretches of like 3 or 4 minutes where it's loud music, like that instrumental, like crazy synthwave sound, and then it stops, and there's like 2 minutes of quiet. Like, there's no sound, not background music, like you just hear a dude walking. You're like, oh my God. Like, it's
in that like part of the whole Blade Runner appeal is it's not necessarily about the plot, because the plot, from what I can gather, is kind of thin.
Yep.
It's more like just the atmosphere, and like it's the world's alive, so it's like just take everything in.
Yeah, that's more or less what it is, and they perfect that. So yeah, I would say people can go see it. It's a good movie. It's worth checking out. So something not worth checking out, Pacific Rim Uprising. That trailer might be the worst trailer I've seen since the last Transformers movie.
So you can tell there's no Del Toro.
Yep.
Like, just even looking at like, the cockpit of the Jaegers, what have they done? Every little bit of personality about that has been stripped out. It's just basically.
I know people, because I always raved about how much I love the first movie. The first one I went and saw in theater 7 times. I own every single action figure, like a rare collectibles I could get my hands on. I love the first one because, Del Toro is my favorite director of all time, but he brought a certain charm and look and visual flair to his movie that you could tell was like, hey, it's different. Like, I hate the plot to the first movie. The characters are paper-thin trash. Like, there isn't even character. It's just, go watch stupid mechs fight cool-looking kaijus. So
it's an episode of an anime.
It is.
Essentially.
Right.
Like, it's just like, we don't need character development. Just show them the fight.
Which is what I loved about it. So going into the second movie, I'm like, okay, they took away Del Toro. I can understand it's going to lose some of his charm, but hopefully it'll be good. And then people picked up a couple months ago. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about Pacific Rim anymore. I just don't care. Because I started to see all the pictures released and that San Diego Comic-Con footage that looked like trash. And then...
Oh, the recruitment video?
Yeah. And the moment this trailer starts playing, you get a slight hint of that music. You're like, okay, at least they got the same... They understand, like, the music was really standout. I was like, wow, this is like... When you picture robots fighting, you heard the music from the first movie. So you're like, I can get with this. And then John Boyega acts like John Boyega. There's nothing there. Scott Eastwood does his best Scott Eastwood trying to be Sam Worthington impression. And then the robots show up. They have no weight.
God, no.
There's nothing to them. Then the kaiju show up, and it literally, depression hit me. And I was like, you know what? I unfollowed every Pacific Rim page. I unfollowed their Twitter, everything. I don't want to see it. Shay was like, can we watch the trailer? I was like, go fuck yourself. I'm not watching this trash again. So she watched it without me. She was like, oh, this is bad. And in the theater, I'm buying my Blade Runner ticket, and the stupid trailer plays on the TV. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. So I go sit down to watch Blade Runner, and the trailer right before the damn movie is the Pacific Rim trailer. Like, I got double gangbanged in a span of like 10 minutes by shit I hate. I hate this trailer with every ounce of my being. It's awful. It's awful.
I kind of felt bad just watching it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I enjoyed Pacific Rim 1 when I first watched it. As I watched it more, I kind of grew to like, not detest it, but it just really grained on me. There's no personality in it at all. And that's what the first one had.
Yeah.
And it was literally in everything. And this one is just, oh, the kaiju just look like that one kaiju from that one movie.
Yep.
The robots all look the fucking same. Like just slightly different paint. And it's like, oh look, we have the sword and now we have two. It's like, no, you're just doing generic sequel shit now.
When I was talking to my wife, she loves the first movie as much as I do. Like, we both love it. And like you say, you know, it kind of grains on you, but I still have that appreciation for it because it was like, it didn't under-promise. Like, it never promised to be anything more than it was. So, this movie, the trailer was everything that was made by a committee to try to franchise this movie. Now, in my biggest hopes, my hope is that this movie comes out and bombs so hard that they can never make anything off this franchise again.
From what I've seen, it's like G Gundam with just kaijus, and the Asian market, they do love their giant robots.
I was gonna say it'll do great in Asia, but
So if anything, the
it's
Asian
the
market
saddest trailer. Saddest trailer I've seen for years.
Yeah.
Just like whatever. It's literally has the checklist of like, right, let's make everything like sleeker, like an Apple. So take away all the big clunky stuff. You need holograms and everything now. So when they're dodging inside the thing, you can have like a visual rep, like fly part of the missile. Like you don't need that at all. Like people know what they're doing. Like you just cut to the actual outside if you want to show that part. And it's just so bland. It's unreal.
How about that like stupid Transformers looking tentacle thing? And how about that scene of like the mini? Is that like a mini Jaeger busting out of some sort of warehouse, and he literally moves like Optimus Prime in all the movies when he's sliding around?
Yeah.
Like, whoa! This movie hurts my heart and soul. Like, it's so bad. Like, I've never been so disappointed by a trailer that I don't want to see anything that has to do with this movie. It's just, it is god awful in every sense of the word. And I see so many people being like, well, it's not so bad. I'm like, listen.
It's horrific. It's what it is.
It's bad. It is the worst. Like,
for people who haven't seen the first one, to them it probably doesn't seem so bad. That's probably the thing.
Yeah, if you like just saw the poster for the first one, you go like, oh, that looks like that one robot from that one poster with the big glowy chest.
Yep.
And it's just like,
but no,
that's what they're going for.
The new Gypsy Avenger, he has 2 nuclear cores because he's more badasser. And like, also, the cockpit. Everything has that stupid blue sci-fi aesthetic. Like every Jaeger, there's none of that personality and color and the big wires and the massive things.
That's all it is. It's just wires now. And it's like there's none of the big machinery. It just goes tink, and that's it. It's like, oh.
Same meaning. Everything's all streamlined. It's not like let's just say it's not like Gundam where each of the giant robots have a personality because they're all built differently, and you could understand like why they chose that design for that giant robot.
Yeah, like they're all the color palettes are virtually identical. They're all the same variation of blue, like that ashy used blue.
Yep.
So,
if people wondering if I'm going to talk about this on the channel anymore, I will talk about it only to take a dump on this movie. That's the only way I will talk about it. There is nothing good in this thing. What's a nice way to put this?
I tell you, he's going to watch the movie now. He's going to love it, and that Pecan Valley is going to be huge.
Oh no, no!
It's that hype.
I'm going to turn into the BVS deniers, where you know it's bad, but you're like, no, I have to defend this.
You're like, John Boyega is good.
Oh, damn it. No more Pacific Rim. Let's get off that. Let's get on to something more positive. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. That is one intense, dark trailer.
I'm going to start off a bit negative. It's Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, God damn it.
It's 100%. It's got It's 95% Empire Strikes Back with a tiny little bit of Jedi in.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I got a vibe of that too.
Like, admittedly, I watched it the first time. I absolutely loved that trailer. As a trailer, it's fantastic. I made the mistake of watching it again, and it's like, oh, I recognize that, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, they've done it again.
Now,
it's like, no.
Here's the thing that kind of got me with the trailer. You get a good sense of the direction they want to go with the story. Like, okay, I see what they're doing here. But it almost feels like they're on purpose trying to, like, distract everybody by being like, oh no, see, Rey is going to be the bad one. Like, did anybody get that? Like, they're doing that on purpose.
Like,
I think I got that, but at the same time, I think they're implying that both of them, like both Rey and Kylo, are going to break off.
Yeah, because like from what I got from the trailer, it's just Rey being confused and doesn't understand why no one wants to help her, and she doesn't like what she could or could not become. So she's trying to find someone who could possibly shed some light on what it is that that Luke says that she's so strong he doesn't know what she could or could not become, even though that's why she went to find him.
Am I the only one that got the sense from the trailer that Snoke, while speaking about all this power and stuff, is always talking about Rey? He just used Kylo as a means to an end.
100%. 100%. No, I mean, it looks good. It doesn't look bad, in all honesty. It's just, I'm kind of worried that they're going to lean heavily on Empire. But, I don't know, if they take it so, like, if they do the swap where Rey becomes, like, she goes to Snoke and Ben goes to Luke, that's fine. It'd be, I wouldn't say predictable, even though everyone kind of called it. I don't know if they called it because they thought it was going to happen, or they called it because they wanted it to happen.
Uh-huh.
That'd be fine. I know. I just want something. It's gonna be something different. So I want from Star Wars, and I'm not getting it.
My biggest issue with this entire thing, I don't have a big problem with that they might mimic Empire or Return in some sort of ways, because that's a given with Star Wars these days. We've come to expect that. I think when I watch the trailer, what my biggest takeaway is that it almost seems too predictable, like you said. Oh, they're going to swap, and Kylo's going to end up being the good guy, which people were already saying since the moment Kylo Ren was revealed for Episode 7. Yeah. They were like, oh, I bet you he's going to end up being the good guy because they got to, subvert us. It's like, yeah.
I mean, you can even see that in the trailer when he has to kill his mom and he couldn't do it.
Oh, that broke my heart, that moment. I was like, really? Are we going to do this? Is this how we're going to do it? It's like, please don't. And she just sits standing there staring. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, I'm very...
It's too soon.
Like, I really want this Star Wars movie to be the one we all want. And don't get me wrong, I still very much love, like, the last two movies. But they're Star Wars, so, I kind of gotta love them. But I want something that I'm not expecting in this movie. That's what I really want, and I'm afraid they're going to not deliver on that, if that makes sense. It's like, I just don't see where they go with it. Like, I think a lot of people are expecting certain things, and if those things play out the way we expect them to, it's going to have a giant negative on the movie, which, rightfully so, it probably should, because if it's that predictable, then you have a problem with your movie,
Yeah.
It's...
Or, like, even just, like the things looking like Empire, you know straight away what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you can just see the basic plot, and even not really the basic, like, more kind of the whole plot in this one trailer. Like, even what's his name, Ryan Johnson, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Director. He came out and said, like, if you don't want spoilers, I wouldn't watch this trailer because it is quite heavy. It's just like, really?
Yeah, and the studio would have had to approve when he says that, or they would have been pissed. So, like, there's a lot of stuff there that's really... It seems weird.
It gives a lot away.
It does, which I'm okay with, but I'm getting a feeling that this is going to be that Empire again, And it's like, I don't know how much people want that or whatever, or if we need it, but I'm keeping optimistic because this does look like a truly amazing movie. But then there's all those callbacks. It's look, it's a snow planet, it's this and that, and I bet you this movie ends on a cliffhanger just like Empire with them like staring
100%.
out. Oh yeah,
100%. Like, you know, it's even down to just like Han and Leia on a hearth or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. You then got Boyega and that new character, like, and they're trying to mimic the imagery of it. It's just like, really, you're going that far?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I hope it's good. It looks good. Like, stylistically wise, it looks fantastic.
Stylistically wise, it looks way better than anything J.J. Abrams has pulled off. So
yeah,
you know,
it's definitely the best looking Star Wars, like, aesthetically, and like the whole salt flats with the red smoke. That's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
Fight. Even though you can guarantee it's gonna be at the start, and one's going around the legs, because how else are you gonna take those things out?
Oh, what about the pug?
Oh, that thing is so cool.
I hate those fucking
I'm
things.
on board the hype train.
The fucking what they have, like a giant snow wolf. Why didn't you focus on that? That's cool. Not this stupid bug-eyed Furby thing. Like, no, it's like a Furby fucking penguin.
You don't get it, Mitch. The Pop Funkos will dictate the success of this movie.
Funkos, I hate them. Worthless Beanie Baby.
It's gonna be so good. I can't wait for this movie. Honestly, I'm real. This trailer got me more hyped than anything else for this movie. That's.
Oh yeah, it kind of brought me back in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yeah, I'll pay you and go see this now.
Yep. All right. So yeah, that ends our Star Wars talk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. As always, you guys can check out our other podcast up there in that little exclamation mark that pops up, and make sure you all go to our Patreon, because you might see something swing in there of a audio commentary sort.
You watching Donkey Kong?
Yes. Donkey Kong. Or as that lady says on Whose Line, or what was that? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Danky Kang. It's going to be Danky Kang.
Got the Danky.
Goddamn.